But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate everyone being here. We're very fortunate. We don't have one, but we have two teammates speaking tonight, Mike Krumbein and also Louise. And Mike's going to talk about private lending, and Louise is going to talk about what's involved in hiring and interviewing a VA and what tasks they can do for you. But also this week, we started office hours, and those are just additional sessions and resources for everybody. They are 2 1-hour sessions every week, and they're going to vary on the days and the time frame. And we'll put out an email on Sunday nights. So this week we did one on Monday, and we're going to do another one tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central. And on those, we don't necessarily have a guest speaker. It's just open forum to propose any questions that you might have, whether it's comping properties, building list, or what have you. So just additional resources as well. And I want to go ahead and give Mike Krumbein the opportunity to talk about private lending, and he's going to share some programs that may help us do more deals. But anyway, Mike.
Okay, so my company's name is Richmond Mortgage. We have a little website, Richmond Mortgage Inc., and just go to richmondmortgage.com. And in taking this course with Michael here, it dawned on me, normally I do fix and flip and new construction. But it dawned on me, maybe some of the people taking Michael's course could use some money in buying this land. So I've come up with a pretty simple system. Basically, we'll just partner. I'll put up 60% of the money, and the borrower will put up 40%, and we'll split the profit, and the profit will be split reversed, where the borrower gets 60% of the money and Richmond Mortgage gets 40% of the money. So the capital, an example might be, let's say you had a deal that you needed $10,000. Richmond Mortgage would put up 60% of that, or $6,000, and the borrower would put up $4,000. And we would just record a deed of trust on the property when you close, and the deed of trust would just say, this is to secure a profit split, but there's no payments or anything. And then you do your thing, you sell the property, and let's say you make a $10,000 profit after expenses. Then that's split 40% to Richmond Mortgage and 60% to you, the borrower. That's the simple part of it. And if you have an interest, need some money to close on a piece of land, I don't check credit or anything on something like this. It really is an equity participation. Anybody have any questions? Ask them now, or just give me a call.
Yeah, I may have a few questions. If we find a property and we get it under contract and we submit it to you, what type of documentation do you need as far as value? How long does it take to fund the deal? And what price ranges do you go up to?
Okay. I'll just want the documentation that you've used. You know, if you're using PropStream, and what comparisons you've used. I'm going to accept your due diligence. I'm not going to do a lot of due diligence. You've just got to submit it, and probably will go up to 50 to 70,000. But I'm not probably. It would take a lot more. The bigger the loan, the more due diligence that would have to happen. And to buy a piece of land or to close on a piece of land that is going to need engineering studies, where you're going to subdivide it into lots or something like that, that's a whole different type of loan. And I don't know that I would take the risk on something like that when you have to go before zoning boards and things like that. It can be done, but I'm looking for something much simpler, something that you've researched. And there's this same size lot sold down the street for $20,000 to a builder. I can buy this one for $8,000, $10,000, kind of a no-brainer type situation. And I'll close as quick as you need. One of the things that'll slow it down a little bit is you will need to get title insurance at the closing, and that takes time for the title examiner to research the title. And we're going to get the same, probably title company, a lawyer probably, to just type up the deed of trust and record it at the time of purchase to protect our interest. So you do have to have an LLC, and that's about it.
So obviously, we all want to make a profit. are, let's just assume that the property is going to sell for $20,000
Okay.
and we buy it for 10. In that example, it's a 50% loan to value. Are you looking for a certain profit margin? We don't want to buy one for 10 and sell it for 12, then it's not worth our while. We want to make it worthwhile. And, mine are typically buy for 10, sell for 20, try to double the money. Or do you have any kind of parameters with that?
I think if you're buying it for 10, it needs to at least probably be selling for 17 and something like that. You can just scale that up or down.
And I think that's pretty much, we're all looking to have at least that type of profit margin in there. I don't think we're interested in buying for 10 and selling for 12 or 13. And I think 17 is probably pretty reasonable. And we're even looking for upside beyond that.
I'll put my telephone number and website in the chat and just call me. And I'll put my email as well.
So what it may allow us to do, let's say my typical price range is 10,000 to 40 or 50,000. And beyond that, I don't want to put up that much money. So if I find something a little bit higher and just say as an example, it's $70,000, even though we're doing some sort of profit split, it may allow me to do some deals that I wouldn't have been able to take down or do otherwise.
Yeah, that's the goal. Or you run out of money. You got too many deals. It's a good thing.
Anybody else have any questions?
This is Erica. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Erica.
Question. So we can come to you for funding as many times as we want?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I hope you have that problem.
And Mike and Michael, if I could just real quick, are you only lending in Virginia?
No, I'll go wherever you are.
I said, okay, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, I appreciate it. It's a great resource. Hopefully it'll enable us to do some more deals. Some people are already doing joint ventures, maybe at a different ratio. And if it's a 60-40 opportunity, it looks very good. So we greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
All righty, Louise, you're on.
All right. Let me share my. So hi again. Good evening, everybody. My name is Louise, and before I worked with Michael, I was corporate trainer in Concentrics, and I've been with BPO industry for like more than 10 years now. And then I switched to being a virtual assistant, and I had a small VA team before, but some of the tasks that I have delegated to are the ones that I'm having problems because some of the clients are getting a VA and it turned out that they're looking for the quality of work that that they're expecting, and then it turned out it's not working for them. Today I will teach you what are the things that you need to do and how to hire a virtual assistant. So first thing is why you need to have a virtual assistant. First thing is time management and increase productivity. I don't know if you guys have been working full time or if you have other dual jobs. If you have a virtual assistant and then you're doing land flipping, they can really help you with time management and your productivity. Next is cost efficiency. Hiring a local VA, I'm pretty sure would cost you that expensive, $15 to $20 an hour. But if you have a virtual assistant located in the Philippines or maybe another country, the rate for that is lower compared to local. Then next is reason why you need to have a virtual assistant, because you need to switch from business operator to a business owner. And next here is when is the best time to hire a virtual assistant? First thing is if your business is scaling, same with Michael. I work with him and then he scaled his business. That's the reason why he really needs more VA to help him with his deals and admin tasks. Next is need for specific skills and expertise. Some of you are having a hard time creating websites. Some of you are having a hard time using spreadsheet, merging data and everything. So those are the things that you need to hire a VA so that someone can do it for you. Next is struggling to maintain work-life balance. And lastly is you hate technology. It's like you want someone to do it for you. I'm a techie person. Just even my clients before, they will just tell me what to do and I will just research it and then fix it myself. That's the reason why, in case you're planning to hire a VA. And next is the platforms to look for a virtual assistant. First is Upwork. That's very common. We, virtual assistant, we don't like it because there's a percentage that Upwork is getting from our pay, and we don't get the exact amount of hourly rate, or could be fixed rate because they have a charge for that platform. Next is onlinejobs.ph, which is the one that I have been using before to engage with clients. So you can just post an ad there. I think there's no charge to create an employer account. But then again, when someone reach out to you, you can get their email address. So it's an upgrade. If you want to see their email address, their profile, you just need to upgrade your account to a paid account, but some are still getting for free. The next is Facebook groups. I've seen people posting, I'm looking for a client. I have, previous client. I've been doing cold caller, things like that. So you can also use Facebook groups. And also, this is one of the things that I would love also to recommend, LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is more professional, and there are a lot of people using LinkedIn to look for clients, for their ideal clients. And next is referrals. If you have friends that does have a VA before that works for them, and then they pause their business, you can tap a friend or someone that had a VA before. Maybe their previous VA can work for you. Do you have any questions? So next is virtual assistant rate. You have two. You can do hourly, and then you can do fixed rate. That's monthly. And then fair rate of a VA depends on skills. Could be entry level, mid, or expert. But starting rate for hiring a VA in the Philippines, I think fair is 5 to 6. And then how to find a good for you or for your business. First is you need to determine, or it depends on what you're looking for and what is your expectation for that VA. So I would suggest before the hiring process, you can post what are the things that you're looking for a VA. And then if someone responded to you, or if during the interview process, you can tell what are your expectations, or what are the things that you're really looking for a VA. And next is ask for a trial work, like 1 hour. Oh no, not 1 hour, like 1 week trial, because no one will do the 1 month trial with, let's say, my hourly rate is like $5. I will do the trial for $2.50 per week, things like that. You can always negotiate, with them. And third is you need to know what are the tasks that you need to delegate. Some clients were asking me if I have someone that I can refer to them. The first thing that I will ask them is, what are the tasks that you want to delegate? Because if you don't know what are the tasks that you want to delegate, you're just wasting your money for a VA, and your VA is not working and it's not being productive. And then last is communication skills. Find someone that can communicate, because skills can be learned. When I first started with Michael, the course was like, I'm from the Philippines, and the real estate in the United States is very different in the Philippines. And I felt like it's really hard, like the first, second time that I go through with the course. But as you move forward, you and your VA have a good relationship. You need to discuss also what are the things that are not working and what are the things that are working, so that you guys can be a good team and you can develop a good relationship, and that can help your business, and you can also help your VA to grow. And I think that was it.
Before I ask 10 questions, but anyone go ahead.
Okay, I've got several questions. What is a VA looking for in an employer? What makes a good employer?
Question. Of my friends were from call center. I just want to tell you this because Most of them are very tired already going to work, having a night shift and traffic and everything. Like not having a fixed day off, split off. Like in a week, you're having a day off of Wednesday, and then the next following week, you have Saturday. And they're looking for a client that is already stable. Because if they resigned and they're earning money like 30,000 monthly, and then they resign, and then you hire them, and then probably after 6 months you pause your business, then that would be also, a problem for them. So first is stability if
Yeah.
your business is already stable.
So I was looking at hiring maybe a virtual accountant full-time, and what with somebody with a degree in accounting, very experienced.
My sister before works with a CPA, and I didn't know that she had an office, and then she hired my sister, and she had a bunch of accounting employees in that office. And since that she is a CPA, she worked with a different clients in the United States, and then she is delegating some of the tasks to her employees. And they have like a mini, it's not really an office, it's a house. They used to have like 5 sets of desktop,
Mhm.
and that's where they work. So the clients didn't know that she had like multiple virtual assistant in the house or could be in their office, and she is still paying some of the employees, and she's still doing the accounting stuff.
I see. Have you heard of a company called TO? They're on the internet. You can find them. They have office buildings in the Philippines with backup generators, and they will screen the accountant for you. And then the accountant comes every evening, Philippine time, to that office. So they work on a secure computer. And of course, they're really a subcontractor for TOA, and you pay TOA, and then TOA pays them. And I just wondered if you'd ever heard of that company.
No, I
Yeah.
haven't heard that.
Okay. So you work full-time now for Michael? Is that
Yes.
right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Michael got a good lucky break. And you, Louise, apparently.
That's what she tells me.
Michael, how did you find Louise?
We just started communicating through some of the land groups and what have you. And she was very persistent. And we had a dialogue, and we started, I believe, at 20 hours a week. And now it's 40 hours a week, but Louise probably works 80 hours a week. And we both try to make it equitable for each other. So I believe we have a very good relationship, and we reward each other.
That's great. So maybe I like the idea of just maybe meeting somebody on a Facebook group that just gets to know them a little bit.
I monitor, obviously, the other land groups as well. And in there occasionally, or you can do a post that you're looking, but occasionally someone will have had a VA and they may not have that need anymore. So you may have someone through those groups that's already seasoned.
Right.
Louise, are there any VAs that you know of that are already savvy with land investing?
Actually, not that I know of, because with regard to the experience that I have right now, it's like land and compared to houses are really different. And my suggestion is if you're looking really to look into that route, I would suggest you hire a VA that has good communication skills and a fast learner, and then train or have them go through the course first time, second time, and you do the due diligence together so that he or she can learn the process.
Okay, thank you.
Michael, I have a question. If I hire a VA to help me with land, can they use the course that I purchased, or do I need to have them do another course?
No, we're pretty easy. And Louise helps me more than full time. And we have some additional help that we've been bringing on. And one of the first things we do, and Louise oversees that, is have them go through the course at least twice. The only thing they'll need is basically your login credentials. They'll use the same email and same password as long as you're comfortable with that. And if anyone on here has a son or daughter or husband or wife or a VA, you're very welcome to share those credentials and have them go through that. And you could also have your VA on our Zoom sessions. And now that we have the Q&A sessions twice a week, they're welcome to attend those as well.
Great. That's very
Yeah.
generous.
It is. And you had a question on the technical side, Michael. So it's okay to share the login credentials. Are there any restrictions or special requirements for a VA that might be working in the Philippines to get access in the US to either your systems or another system?
Yeah, Louise can address that. I think they use a virtual private network. Is that it, a VPN?
Yeah, that's the VPN, because you really need to have that. It's like an annual or a month-to-month subscription. If you were doing the real estate thing and you have your VA do the due diligence in some of the county appraisers website, they are not allowed in the Philippines. It's being blocked here. I mean, US, the IP address, if they found that it is located in a different country, rather, we cannot enter into that website or the county appraiser's website.
Gotcha.
So
So,
it's best to have a VPN.
so for instance, I would acquire the VPN and then share that information or that connection with the VA.
Yeah, you can share the information to your VA.
Okay.
And if you're hesitant first, or if you have trust issues first time, I would highly suggest to do the Zoom with your VA. Don't give the login, and then you control her screen. Then you can log in on her screen, so that you don't give the login. All you have to do is just to log in, and you only can know your login.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Louise, can you just share some of the tasks that you do?
Yeah.
Everything.
So
I mean, she does very much, but go ahead.
So most of the tasks that I do were responding, social media management, and talking sometimes to the seller, building a list. I'm the one. Me and my husband were teammates. Michael hired my husband as well before to go to the county appraiser's website, and we're doing the $100 list. So we check the properties that we like, and we're building a list of motivated seller, and we're the one who's looking for that property address and the information, and we put that on the spreadsheet. And then after we put that into spreadsheet, we import to the system what we called Pebble, or it could be a launch control or other tools that Michael wanted me to use. And we can also share with you the some of the tools that we use and how we built it, and how it helps with the business, with the land business.
Now,
So-
do you use Pebble as your CRM, or do you use one in addition to the Pebble? Because I use REI Reply.
Okay, good question. We used 3-year reply before, but we quit because of issues with the text campaign previously. And we're using right now Pebble, because you can import everything in Pebble, and even if you deleted them, it's still stored on their system. So in case the seller called in and they're not interested, so all we got to do is just to look up the property address in Pebble, and then we can just update them. So it's like, for us, the Pebble is the source of truth.
Now, do they do any automations like REI Reply?
Automations, you can do it with Zapier,
Oh, good.
but not
Okay.
really to.
Okay. Thank you.
So you do a lot more besides that, Louise, some spreadsheet work through Pebble, some mailings and what have you.
So I think one of the things that a VA can help you is to help you build your list, in finding motivated sellers, like the traditional ways that, we're doing. And then with the tools like your CRM, and could be other things like posting into Facebook groups, like finding a buyers. There are a lot of buyers, reach out to me from Pensacola as well, and they're looking for a vacant land because they found me on other Facebook groups that I'm posting. I'm looking for buyers in Pensacola. So they're reaching out to me. I think that's one more thing that your VA can help you as well in finding buyers.
So Louise, as Louise has gone through the class and done everything in there multiple times. And one thing we're doing tomorrow, Louise, I asked her to find the 5 most motivated sellers we can find in our database. And so for tomorrow, we're going to make offers on those 5 properties. And Louise is going to come to me tomorrow with those 5, with the due diligence done, with the comparables, wetlands, flood zones, understanding the seller situation, whether they're behind on the taxes. And then we'll do a background on the seller to understand bankruptcies, liens, judgments, criminal history, business licenses, business affiliations, credit score if we have it, and put all that through the funnel. And every week, find the 5 most motivated ones. And then we're just going to skip trace and call them up. And we're going to already have our valuation done. So on that call, we can present them with an offer right there. And so if we do that, 5 offers a week, that's not a million, obviously, but it say 20 a month. And if they're the people that are most likely going to need to sell, my thought is we should be able to do 1 to 2 deals a month just based on that limited number of offers, but they're the people that most likely need to sell.
Right.
And Louise has gone through enough to do those tasks. I just like to go ahead and put the final stamp on the value, but it's not anything that we learned together overnight. You know, we spend quite a bit of time together. And so it did take some time. But before that, I was, you know, and my wife, Lisa, I was initially doing all this myself. So I'd do the Facebook posts and I'd write the ad for the property and find the buyers and sellers and build the list that many of us are doing. It was doing the whole thing. But what I learned was I can't scale. So I wasn't able to scale. And when we started, we did slow down a little bit because we put time into working together. But now because of that, we've gained so much more momentum. And I'm trying to focus most of my energies onto talking to sellers, talking to buyers. And because of that, we can do many times more deals.
Yeah, Michael, that's a good point. If I could, I just have another couple of questions, one for Louise and the other for Mike. Louise, do you have any recommendations on a VPN provider, one over the other that you've used that you would mind sharing with the group?
Yeah, I use Express. Let me show you so that you know how it looks like. So this is how it looks like. You see this? And then I prefer to use this because if you have like multiple teams in your company, you can just add their devices and you're good to go, because others have like limit on how many devices they can use on that subscription. But
Okay.
here it's all of your devices. And for the VPN location, you can use any location you want. And
Gotcha.
then you'll know if you're using this because it says connected. And if it's not connected, then that could be it's turned off or you haven't connected it.
Perfect. Great. That's perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then Mike, for you on your private money loans, is it just profit split or is there interest based upon how long the money's out or some combination thereof?
No, it's just a profit split.
Just a profit split. Okay.
Mhm.
Good to know. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Louise, how much does the VPN cost?
I forgot how much would I pay.
Just a
but
ballpark.
yeah, I think that's less than $100
For what, for a year or?
for an annual. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you will purchase annually, that would be like $9.09 per month. But if you do it monthly, that would increase to $12, something like that.
Good to know. Okay.
And if you're doing the marketing stuff, Canva is a great tool that can engage more with the buyers.
I'm sorry, Louise, is there a certain software that you recommend that we can keep track of our VA's time?
Actually, no, because to be honest, VAs doesn't want to be tracked.
Okay,
There are some clients that wanted to track their VA's time, but I would suggest track on the, what do you call it? If your goals are met, right? You can track not the time, but with the performance. I think that's my take on
Okay, because I do have a VA, and what she does, she sends me a Loom video, what she does every day.
Oh, wow.
What's a good way to incentivize VAs that besides hourly, is it good to try to put together a bonus structure? And maybe that motivates some people, but not other people. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like that part. So, so for example, if if you got a deal because we're doing the real estate, you can try to structure it with first deal of 300 to $400 per deal. Then after that, if you will get another one, then I'm gonna increase your bonus. And if we get another one, then it will be increased again. So it's motivating your VA as well, that if he or she reaches their goal, then everyone eats. And Michael did a lot of, he purchased one for me, like the power station, and it cost like $270. And I really appreciate it because in the Philippines, there's a lot of power outages.
We wanted to make sure Louise had power.
Yeah.
So just like our class, our group, I refer to everyone as teammates, and Louise is a teammate, like a partner, actually. We want to make it a win-win situation. And because the way we have everything structured, it's not really an hourly type situation, but as the relationship developed, we want it to be a win situation. So she's very well rewarded, which very well rewards me as well. And that would be my suggestion. I had a call with someone yesterday, I believe, and he was excited because he could pay his VA in Mexico $1 an hour. And my thought was that might be great. You got a great deal, but it might last for a week. So people in different places in the world, my thought is that they deserve so much more. And if we can participate in, that's just a philosophy. Reward everyone well. It's definitely teamwork, and I greatly appreciate Louise.
And I just want to add, because some of the VAs doesn't like it. My friend got hired into an agency. It's good to have an agency because if someone happens to your account or whatever tools, or it could be your bank account that might hack, you have someone that you can reach out to. But then again, they charging to $18 monthly because they have an agency, and they're paying only $4 to $5 for the VA. It's like the client didn't know that the agency is giving $5 on hourly for the VA, and I think it's really low to.
Luis, are there any red flags that you can share with us from your perspective on what we might want to be looking out for in a VA that could be a red flag?
Yeah. So I think one of the red flags would be having multiple clients, that I believe that you cannot serve two masters at the same time. And it's really hard to work with having multiple clients, like 2, 3, or something like that. Because if you have 2 clients, one voice and the other one was voice, how you'll be able to manage that, right? So it depends. If he or she is not sleeping, then could be he or she can do that. But that's, a red flag. One of the things that you need to also ask them, if they have multiple jobs, and you set expectation that, if you found that they have multiple jobs, then you may not want to continue.
Understood. All right, very good. Thank you.
Louise, do you work US hours or do you?
I work US hours because I used to work with call center, and we cater mid Ohio. I'm with Comcast, so our customers were in the Midwest. I think Midwest, I forgot. So I'm following the hours in the United States.
So do you ever get any sleep?
Yes.
She lets me know. Sometimes we just call it a day. We both work very hard. An experience when I started with VAs, I went through a company, and I think I paid them $3 or $4 an hour, and I think they paid their VAs $2 an hour. And I'm just wondering, how do these people do this? Maybe because of that, some that wasn't successful, but because of that, I think some of the VAs may be working for 3 people billing the same hour. You definitely need to have a certain lifestyle. And I don't know at $2 an hour, how you can do that. And so that I would see that maybe as a red flag. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it sounds like you have a keeper in Louise.
You're on mute, Michael.
That's what she tells me. Yeah, it's been, we've spent a lot of time together, and back to the saying, how do you eat an elephant? And so we've taken a bite at a time, and we've just kept growing. And now she does the Facebook stuff, and she can do lists, she can pull comps, she can do some of the graphics that you saw. She can manage someone to do cold calling for me. So she oversees a lot of that. And so my ultimate goal, we still Zoom together Monday through Thursday every day and just strategize. She forces me to do some Facebook content, which is not at the top of my list. But because of all that, it's enabled me to make those 5 offers tomorrow. Even my own note, make offers, not excuses. I need that myself. Make more offers. And because of Louise, it's enabled us to do that. I can work more effectively. We'll do more deals. And I've got a calendar here to my left. And what I did, this is just 2 weeks ago, I took Fridays and I just X'd them out, because otherwise I'd work 60, 70 hours a week. But I absolutely love what I do. But I thought, I'm not doing that. So I just X'd out every Friday, mostly Saturdays and Sundays. But it doesn't mean that I'm checking Facebook or Messenger and what have you. But I thought part of the reason we do this is to accommodate a lifestyle. And we did a little video on that the other day, basically why land. And one was lifestyle, spend more time with family, make a nice income, and then why land, because it's a good product as well. But a part of that lifestyle is I'm not working Fridays. That's what I've said so far. I've X'd them out anyway. And with Louise, it's enabled me to scale and ideally work fewer hours, make more money, and have that lifestyle.
Fantastic.
So Louise, is it fairly easy or common to find somebody like yourself who just likes the stability, and once you get established together that you can feel comfortable that you're going to be able to maintain that relationship and keep them on board? Yeah.
Also, one of the things that we are looking, for a client is that they really cares, because I got a client, before, and I was like, hunting him for like, when are you going to pay me? So if it's pay time, pay your VA right away. Don't wait for your VA to tell you when are you going to send.
Yeah.
It's like you already understand that everyone needs money. That's the reason why they're working for you, why you would wait for 1 or 2 weeks and to send that, right? That's one more thing also that the VA really hates.
And speaking of payment, I use Wise to pay my VA. Is there another online company that you would recommend?
Wise is really good. That is way cheaper compared to PayPal. So I think you got already the most and the best way to send money to your VA. And that's cheapest. They have cheapest taxes as well.
Is that WISE, Wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
It used to be a transfer Wise before,
Okay.
but they made it short.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I've noticed a lot of things that Michael has done with your help. And I've
accomplished a lot too because of Michael. I was able to got a new car. I was able to have my house renovated and a lot of things for the family because of working with Michael. So
where in the Philippines are you?
I'm located in the province of Negros Occidental.
Okay. We appreciate all your support too, because you have a lot of knowledge now with Pebble and everything. Yeah.
Great job, Louise.
It's teamwork.
Definitely. Any additional questions? Mike, thank you very much for sharing the loan programs. It's definitely a great resource that will enable us to do some deals we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And Louise, thank you very much as well. And we did start our Q&A sessions twice a week, and we announced the date and times on Sundays. So we did one on Monday already. We have another one tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. And those are just so anyone can, it's not a presentation like Louise and Mike, but just any questions you may have, from picking a market area, building a list, due diligence, comps, Facebook groups, selling the properties, what have you, or any other questions about the class. And so it's just an additional resource. And so we're thrilled about that. But I appreciate every one of you. I thank you very much. And thanks, Mike, and thanks, Louise. And Louise, I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock my time.